Hello YouTube, my name is Stacy. I'm known here as Flighty Rambler, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel today. Please excuse the state of my voice. I'm still recovering from a cold. Today I'll be continuing with week 3 of Can You Say Napkins. It's an open collaboration here on YouTube as well as on Instagram. It is co-hosted by 3 lovely ladies. There's Joanne from Junk Journal Treasures, Susan from Susan Hiles Art, and Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. I'll have a link to all of their channels listed in the description box below. This week, our prompt was to use a napkin in an art journal page. I have a number of art journals I could use, but I wanted to work in one of these. I'm showing off a collection of art journals I created when I had a plethora of jelly plate prints that I needed to get rid of out of my stash. So I bound them together in these 9 art journals. I did this a number of years ago when I lived in Ontario, and between then and now, I have used these art journals to create completed pieces, to do some mark making in some. I've collaged in others. I've put down tape here and there. It's random and fun. Once in a while, I like going through them just to remind myself of the colors that I was using, the style I have and want to revisit. And to be honest, I have a hankering to do some more jelly plate prints. For today's project, I'll be using this art journal, and the orange project is actually the very first full project that I posted here on YouTube. I'll have a link to that video listed in the top right-hand corner. So I'm going to choose this page, and I'm going to start my project by using a 2HB pencil to do some scribble journaling and random mark making. I have been going through my napkins lately thanks to this prompt, and I've chosen this napkin. The first thing I'm going to do is pull the plies apart by getting my fingertips sticky with some glue. It's a busy pattern, but I like it. So I'm just going to break it up by tearing the tissue into some pieces. And then I'll collage it down with my collage glue. My collage glue is a mix of matte Mod Podge and water. As I'm adding wet media to this paper, it does begin to buckle. The solution is to spray some water on the back side of the paper so that it's more malleable and pliable, and that way I can lie it flat again. Once the glue is dry, I'm going to go through my punchinella, and this is punchinella. It's sequin waste, and I found this on Etsy. It was the first stencils that I bought because I wanted a lot of bang for my buck, so to speak. So on Etsy, you can search for punchinella. It's basically sequin waste, so you can get it in a variety of shapes and sizes. I'm going to start by stenciling this round one. I'm going to use gesso instead of acrylic paint because I want a softer result. I'm going to cover the whole page with that round pattern. Then I'll take some Liquitex acrylic paint in Payne's Gray, and I'm going to do the same thing except with this small rectangular shape. I'm going to cover the whole page with this pattern. And I really like how it pushed the busy background all the way back, and yet still I can see it. And I like the effect of layering the two stencils together. It gives it a really cohesive look. I'm going to take some pens, some ballpoint pens in black and blue, and randomly circle some of the circles to bring that pattern back. And then it's time to look for focal points. I have this gorgeous napkin with butterfly and flower. I have a Jane Davenport serviette with these faces that kind of work, but the scale isn't quite right. And I also have this large stamp. I haven't used it lately, and it's nice, but not quite what I want for today. In the end, I think I prefer the butterfly and flower napkin, so I'm going to pull the plies apart. And once I have the extra ply, I'm going to use that to stamp that large face. I have it out, so I might as well use it. And I'm not going to do anything with this today. I'm just going to add this tissue to my stash. Then I'm going to concentrate on using a water brush to gently tear out all of the elements of this napkin. And then I'm going to take the time to paint out the backs of the 3 elements I want on my background. I'm going to paint out the backside with gesso so that when I collage it down, it is more bright. I'm going to start by collaging down the gesso backed pieces, and then I'll go ahead and layer on a regular tissue piece on top. I feel this gives me more depth of color and as well as gives me more visual interest. Once everything is dry, I'm going to grab some of these rub-ons from Pressure Graphics ink. These rub-ons is how we would add bigger fonts and fun fonts to ads and headlines before the age of the computer. They're old, and so the rub-ons don't always work with a clean impression, but I'm okay with that. I'll go ahead and add different shapes all around my border to give it more interest. And I'll have to keep in mind next time that when I do use the rub-ons, there is accidental fallout because the rub-ons are so old, and you will get some smatterings of black spots here and there, but that doesn't bother me. I'm into the grungy look anyway. Then I'm going to take a couple of ballpoint pens, the black and the blue, and make sketchy lines around each of these elements. Then it's time for my favorite Pitt Artists pens, because there's a layer of glue on top of this napkin. It's now a non-porous surface, and that's perfect for this Pitt Artists pen. It's an India ink inside of these, and when you use them, you have a couple of moments where it's wet and you can smear it before it dries permanent. To bring more color to the butterflies, I'm going to use this neon yellow Sakura Gelli Roll pen and just fill out the lines on it. Instead of black, now they're a nice bright yellow, and I feel it makes the butterflies pop more off the page. To add more color to the background, I'm going to color some of those circles that I had defined earlier with the ballpoint pens. I'll fill the circles in with color, and I feel it makes the background much more fun. Now it's time for the sentiment. I'm going to use some white cardstock, and I'm going to use my type gauge there to give myself some lines to work with. And I do the quote one time and the scale is just so wrong. So I end up redoing the quote in a smaller scale, and I'm much more happy with it. The quote today is "Happiness is homemade," and that really struck home with me today since I've been stuck at home sick for a number of days now. But I haven't been bored. I've been sleeping a lot, watching some Netflix, and reading some books as well. I'm going to cut out the sentiment, and then I'm going to distress the edges with Tim Holtz's distressing tool, and be darned if that thing doesn't make my carpal tunnel just flare up hardcore. Ow. Just ow. So I massage it away and continue on. I'll ink up the edges of all of the words and then use Aleene's tacky glue to glue it down. I'm going to touch up a bit more of the leaves with green, add more color to some of the bubbles in the background, and then it's time for some splats. I'm going to pull out 3 colors, the yellow, the orange, and the pink fluorescent acrylic inks, as well as the black and white, and just add some splats to the background because that makes me really happy. And I feel that this project needs a border, so I'll use the Pit Artist's pen in black, and I'll give myself a squiggly line border and then make it ×2 because that's always fun. And it's so pretty. I'm so glad that I participated in this week's challenge. I am really pleased with how the colors are popping, and I'm so glad that I reached for this art journal because it's been a while since I've worked in it. And it looks like that's it for this video. I'd like to thank you for watching. I encourage you to like this video and please subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.